Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to our presentation. Today, we will explore the 10 sacred reasons why diocesan priests would like to become secular Franciscan order. We'll also hear from some inspiring priests like Fr. Robert Reyes from Palilia, Rizal, and Fr. Mike Ballotbat from Jala Jala, Rizal. In this session, we'll look into what motivates diocesan priests to consider joining the secular Franciscan order and the spiritual benefits they seek. So, stay with us as we journey through these meaningful reasons together. Today, I want to share with you 10 sacred reasons why a diocesan priest might feel called to become a secular Franciscan. These reasons are deeply rooted in faith and a desire for spiritual growth. I'm Fr. Ben Guevara from Morong, Rizal, now serving in Cardona, Rizal, and I've personally experienced this calling. First, one key reason is the desire to live out the gospel more fully through the Franciscan charism, embracing simplicity, humility, and love for all creation. It's about aligning my life more closely with Christ's teachings, especially in living simply and humbly. Second, I am drawn to the Franciscan family because it offers a supportive community of like-minded believers who are committed to living out their faith daily. Having that fellowship is truly inspiring. Third, I seek a deeper spiritual renewal. Becoming a secular Franciscan provides opportunities for ongoing formation, prayer, and reflection that help strengthen my relationship with God. Fourth, I want to serve more effectively. The Franciscan emphasis on service to the poor and marginalized resonates deeply with my pastoral mission and desire to make a tangible difference in people's lives. Fifth, I am motivated by a desire for personal holiness. Living according to Franciscan values challenges me to grow in virtue and become more Christ-like in my daily life. Sixth, I see the Franciscan way as a way of evangelization, reaching out to others with compassion and humility, embodying Christ's love in practical ways. Seventh, I am inspired by the saints and role models of the Franciscan order, who exemplified a life of radical discipleship and unwavering faith. Eighth, I want to deepen my understanding of Franciscan spirituality, which emphasizes a joyful, grateful, and reverent attitude toward creation and life itself. Ninth, I feel called to be part of a global movement that seeks to bring peace, justice, and reconciliation, values that are at the heart of Franciscan life. And finally, 10th, I believe that becoming a secular Franciscan is a sacred step towards fulfilling my vocation, allowing me to serve God more fully by living out the Franciscan principles in my everyday life. All these reasons connect to our overall theme of spiritual renewal and commitment, showing how this calling is not just a personal decision, but a profound response to God's sacred invitation to follow Christ more closely through the Franciscan way. Today, I want to introduce you to the secular Franciscan order, a vital part of our Franciscan family. This order was founded to bring the Franciscan spirit into the everyday lives of laypeople, those of us who are not monks or nuns, but who still want to live out the gospel in our daily actions. Bishop Francisco de Leon, OFS, DD, has played a significant role in guiding and supporting this order. His leadership helps us understand how the secular Franciscan order emphasizes living a life of holiness, simplicity, and service while remaining actively engaged in the world. The key idea here is that this order connects the Franciscan ideals, poverty, humility, and love, to our everyday situations. It reminds us that we don't have to be cloistered to follow Christ closely. Instead, we can do so through our work, family life, and community involvement. So, as we explore further, keep in mind that the secular Franciscan order is about bringing the gospel to life right where we are, inspired by Francis' example, but tailored to our unique, everyday circumstances. Let's explore the first sacred reason why a diocesan priest might feel drawn to become a secular Franciscan. This reason is *indulgence***. Now, I want to explain what that really means in this context. Indulgences are a beautiful aspect of our Catholic faith that emphasize God's mercy and the Church's authority to forgive sins. When a priest considers this path, It's often because they seek a deeper spiritual renewal and a way to grow closer to God's mercy through the Franciscan way of life. By joining the secular Franciscan order, they can participate more fully in the Church's mission of mercy, prayer, and charity. It's not about earning points or superficial perks. It's about experiencing and sharing in God's boundless mercy in a more personal and committed way. This reason ties into our overall theme of spiritual renewal and living out the gospel authentically. For a priest, embracing this path can be a powerful way to deepen their faith and serve others with renewed vigor and compassion. Now, let's explore one of the reasons why a diocesan priest might consider becoming a secular Franciscan. One significant reason is that it can make the process of being canonized much easier. You see, by belonging to a recognized religious order like the Franciscans, Dominicans, Augustinians, or Jesuits, a priest's path toward sainthood is often more straightforward. These orders have well-established traditions, communities, and a history of recognition by the Church, which can support and facilitate the process. It's about aligning oneself with a broader spiritual family that the Church already values highly. This connection can help highlight a life of holiness and service that's recognized by the Church authorities. So, in a way, joining a religious order can serve as a stepping stone toward canonization, making it a practical and spiritual consideration for priests contemplating this transition. And this ties into our overall theme of how embracing a secular Franciscan vocation can deepen one's spiritual journey and service to the Church. Today, I want to share with you 10 sacred reasons why a diocesan priest might feel called to become a secular Franciscan. On this slide, we focus on 3 key virtues of St. Francis that guide this calling: poverty, humility, and minority. These virtues are not just ideals, they are practical ways to live out our faith more authentically. First, poverty. For Francis, poverty wasn't just about giving up material possessions. It was about embracing simplicity and dependence on God alone. It reminds us to detach from worldly things and to trust fully in divine providence. Next, humility. St. Francis teaches us to see ourselves honestly and to serve others without seeking recognition. It's about lowering ourselves so that Christ can be exalted in our lives. Then there's minority. This means recognizing our own smallness in God's grand plan, fostering a spirit of openness and vulnerability, which allows us to be more receptive to God's grace. These virtues also connect deeply with the themes of conversion and contemplation. Conversion involves a continuous turning towards God, shedding ego and worldly attachments. Contemplation invites us into quiet, prayerful awareness of God's presence, helping us live out these virtues daily. Overall, these virtues help priests deepen their spiritual life and serve with greater humility and authenticity, aligning perfectly with the Franciscan way of life. Now, let's look at some inspiring examples of individuals who have chosen to become secular Franciscans. Here, we have John Cadiz Carandang, OFS, and others like Millet Favis, OFS, Lotlot F. Paido, OFS, Suzette P. Francisco, OFS, and Charine Maria, OFS. These names represent members of the secular Franciscan order who have made a conscious decision to deepen their faith and live out the gospel in their everyday lives. The slide also highlights 10 sacred reasons why diocesan priests might feel drawn to become secular Franciscans. These reasons are rooted in a desire to live more closely aligned with the Franciscan way of life, embracing simplicity, humility, and a profound love for all creation. It's important to understand that this decision isn't taken lightly. It reflects a deep spiritual calling, a desire to serve more fully, and to embody the Franciscan virtues in a more intentional way. Connecting this to our overall theme, it reminds us that the journey of faith is personal and dynamic. Whether we are priests, laypeople, or members of religious orders, each of us can find ways to grow closer to Christ through community, service, and a commitment to living the gospel authentically. Today, I want to share with you 5 sacred reasons why a diocesan priest might feel called to become a secular Franciscan. These reasons are deeply rooted in our faith and our shared devotion to Saint Francis. First, one significant reason is that these prayers are included forever. For example, during Mass intentions, especially during Franciscan gatherings and on the feast day of St. Francis, we remember and pray for the souls of all men and women of the Franciscan family who have departed through God's mercy. We ask for God's eternal rest for them, and this act of prayer keeps their memory alive in our hearts. Second, these prayers are also said after praying the rosaries. It's a moment to remember our Franciscan brothers and sisters and to pray for their souls, trusting in God's mercy. Third, this practice extends to every fraternity meeting and gathering, as well as during formations. It's a constant reminder of our shared mission and commitment to living out the Franciscan life in community and service. All of these reasons highlight how prayer and remembrance are central to our spiritual journey. They connect us to our Franciscan family, past and present, and deepen our sense of vocation. When we pray with intention and love, we honor Saint Francis' spirit and renew our dedication to living the gospel in simplicity and humility. One of the sacred reasons why a diocesan priest might consider joining the secular Franciscan order is the opportunity for fellowship. This isn't just about forming friendships. It's about connecting with others who share the same spiritual goals and values. Through this fellowship, we can find support, encouragement, and a sense of community that transcends our local parishes. It allows us to build meaningful relationships with fellow laypeople and clergy alike, fostering a shared commitment to living out the gospel in our daily lives. Connecting to other places and communities helps us grow in our faith, broadening our perspective and enriching our spiritual journey. Ultimately, this sense of fellowship aligns with our overall mission of living out our vocation more fully, rooted in the love and bond of the Franciscan family. One of the key reasons why a diocesan priest might feel called to join the secular Franciscan order is the idea that same feather flocks together. What I mean by that is, when we share similar spiritual aspirations and values, it creates a stronger sense of community and support. For us priests, being part of the secular Franciscan order means connecting with others who genuinely live out the gospel and embody Franciscan virtues. This shared commitment is not just personal, but also beneficial for our parishioners. It helps us serve more effectively because we're united in our mission and approach. When priests and laypeople work side by side with common goals and spiritual ideals, it creates a more vibrant, cohesive parish environment. Ultimately, this camaraderie and shared purpose enhance our ability to evangelize, serve, and be witnesses of Christ's love. It's about fostering a community where everyone supports each other in living out the gospel authentically, which benefits the entire parish family. Now, let's talk about one of the key reasons why the diocesan influence was so significant: their control over social institutions and education. They were responsible for managing and overseeing crucial social welfare services, which included the very first hospitals like San Juan de Dios and San Lazaro Hospital. These institutions were vital for public health and medical care at the time. In addition to health care, they also ran schools, orphanages, and even free loan banks, known as Montes de Piedad. These efforts gave the church a strong hold over many aspects of daily life, public health, charity, and education, making them central figures in the community. This control wasn't just about providing services. It also meant that the church had a lasting influence on the social fabric and the well-being of the people. It really cemented their role as a powerful institution that shaped everyday life, reinforcing their overall influence within the society. One of the key reasons why a diocesan priest might consider becoming a secular Franciscan is the exemption from episcopal jurisdiction. Historically, as a mendicant order, the Franciscans enjoyed a special status that allowed them to operate with greater autonomy from the local bishop. This meant they had independence in managing their parishes and carrying out their missions without being directly under the bishop's authority in many matters. This autonomy was particularly significant during the Spanish regime, when the Franciscans often had to navigate complex relationships with secular clergy and ecclesiastical authorities. The exemption sometimes caused friction, but it was a long-standing right of their order, allowing them to focus more on their spiritual and charitable missions without excessive oversight. Connecting this to our overall theme, it highlights how the Franciscan way offers a unique form of service, one that values independence and a special relationship with the Church, while maintaining a deep commitment to their mission. For priests considering this transition, this aspect of autonomy can be very appealing, as it aligns with a desire for greater freedom to serve and to embody the Franciscan spirit in their ministry. You know, one of the most compelling reasons why a diocesan priest might feel drawn to become a secular Franciscan is the sense of priority and recognition that comes with it. When you align yourself with the secular Franciscan order, there's a certain privilege and acknowledgement from the Vatican, the community, and the wider Church. It's not just about personal devotion. It's about being part of something that holds a special place in the Church's structure and mission. This recognition can be a powerful encouragement, affirming your call and commitment. It also opens doors to greater support and collaboration with others who share the same values and goals. So, in essence, it's about elevating your vocation through the privileges and benefits that come with this spiritual family, helping you serve more effectively and with renewed purpose.